My beloved child, there is a trembling in the spirit realm tonight, a stirring so heavy that even Archangel Michael has stepped forward with his sword of blue fire, urging you not to look away. The moment you opened this message, something in the unseen world shifted. Heaven has been trying to reach you, and tonight the message carries urgency, precision, and divine protection. November 29th, 45 minutes left. These words are not a coincidence. They are a spiritual alarm. A countdown only those chosen to hear the warnings of God will recognize. Listen carefully, because God is trying to warn you about something directly connected to the space you call home. But this isn't fear. This is preparation. This is mercy. This is divine intervention arriving before danger does. There is a spiritual breach attempting to form around you, a shadow moving quietly, looking for a place to enter emotionally, mentally, or physically. For some, it may come through a person who carries harmful intentions. For others, it may manifest as a moment of distraction that opens a door of vulnerability. And for a select few, God is specifically showing the image of a forced entry, a spiritual attack trying to disguise itself as a physical home invasion. But hear this with clarity. A warning is always a sign of God's protection, not panic. Archangel Michael stands at your doorway even now. His presence is firm, watchful, unshakable, like a guardian planted by God himself. But heaven needs your awareness. Not fear. Awareness. You have been feeling strange heaviness in your home lately, a sudden silence, a sense of someone watching, a feeling something is off, especially at night, a sharp intuition telling you to lock something, check something, or be more alert. These sensations were not imagination. They were spiritual signals, subtle nudges. The Holy Spirit's whisper trying to wake you before this window of time closes. Between now and 11 p.m., your spirit is extremely sensitive to divine instruction. This is why the message reached you at this exact moment. And listen, child, the enemy never attacks the unnoticed. He only attacks what God is about to elevate. The darkness approaching your home is a reaction, a response to the blessing forming around you. Your next breakthrough has scared hell itself. And that is why heaven is speaking urgently. Not to frighten you, but to protect you from unnecessary harm. As the clock counts down, there is a prophetic revelation unfolding. God is closing a door the enemy has been attempting to open. A spiritual intruder has been circling your life. Someone with harmful intention may have been trying to learn things about you. Someone with jealousy, resentment, or hidden darkness has been looking for a way in. But hear this loud and clear: they will not succeed. Archangel Michael says you were meant to hear this before 11 p.m., because after that time, a shield of divine fire will settle over your home. But for that shield to activate, you must be aware, awake, and spiritually alert. This is why he is speaking tonight, why you felt drawn to open this, why your spirit felt a sudden pull, why your heart beat differently the moment you saw the title. You were chosen to hear what others ignored. Now listen closely. There will be a moment, very soon, where you will notice something unusual. A sound. A shift. An intuition. A sudden thought saying, check that, lock that, or don't open that door. Do not dismiss it. That will be Archangel Michael guiding you directly. This warning is not just symbolic. It's not simply about intruders of the physical world. It's also about spiritual invaders trying to enter your peace, your mind, your sleep, your destiny. Some of these attacks disguise themselves as people. Some hide behind stubborn chaos. Some appear through unexpected conflict. But heaven says the enemy is about to be exposed. Every plot whispered in the dark is about to be revealed. Every harmful person pretending to be harmless is about to be unmasked. Every hidden intention around your home is coming into light. Child of God, the next few moments are critical. Not dangerous, critical. You are being spiritually aligned for protection. And something deep inside you already knows this message is for you. You felt the truth in the first sentence. You felt the urgency in the title. Your spirit is responding because it recognizes heaven's frequency. The countdown of 45 minutes isn't literal time alone. It is a spiritual window. A shifting point. A divine moment where the veil is thin and messages arrive sharply. If you step away now, you might miss the next key heaven is trying to deliver. Stay close. Stay aware. You're about to understand why God pushed this message into your hands tonight. Hold steady because what comes next will reveal what, or who, has been trying to cross the line into your life. Before you breathe out of this moment, let your spirit absorb this. You are not alone. You are protected. Heaven is already moving. And trust me, the next revelation will shake you, in a good way. Before you scroll, stay with me. This is where the message begins to open fully. Type "I receive the shield of light" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 441 is now activated. Dearest soul of light, something within you has already begun to rise. You can feel it, can't you? A stirring, a tightening in the atmosphere around you, as if the air itself is aware that something sacred is unfolding. Archangel Michael stands closer now, and his presence is not quiet. It is firm, protective, and deeply watchful. He has been trying to get this message to you for days, maybe even weeks, but tonight the timing cracked open. Tonight, heaven said, now. You might not realize it yet, but you have stepped into a supernatural moment. The angels call it a threshold hour. It is the space where revelations flow, where warnings become instructions, and where protection becomes stronger than the threat itself. The countdown mentioned earlier is not just a period of time. It is a spiritual alignment. A moment where heaven invites you to stand behind the shield of divine fire. And if you listen closely, you'll feel the urgency pulsing through your spirit right now. Archangel Michael keeps repeating something in the spirit realm. Do not overlook the small signs. Because often, before chaos tries to enter a home, it sends a whisper, a tiny disturbance, a subtle shift, a sense that something is approaching, but you cannot see it clearly. Maybe you have recently felt uneasy walking through your house at night. Maybe you double-checked a lock even when you knew you already secured it. Maybe you heard a sound that didn't feel like just a sound. Or maybe you've been picking up on strange behavior from someone connected to your home or daily routine. Someone who smiles, but their spirit does not. Someone who watches too closely. Someone whose presence feels heavy rather than peaceful. These things are not random. And they are not meaningless. Heaven says the enemy has been testing your boundaries, trying to find an opening, trying to see if you are spiritually asleep. But tonight, with this message, you have signaled back to heaven that you are awake. Fully awake. And because of that, Archangel Michael has been dispatched to step between you and every harmful plan forming around you. He is not passive in this moment. He is fierce. There is something very specific God wants you to understand. The danger has not fully reached your home because your spirit recognized the warning before the threat arrived. You have been sensing the shift. Your dreams have carried clues. Your intuition has been louder than usual. Your emotions have been fluctuating in unusual patterns. These are not coincidences. They are divine alerts. And God is saying something deep, something powerful. Why warn you? It is not to cause fear, but to secure your victory before the battle begins. Tonight's message is part of that victory. And the moment you opened it, heaven breathed a sigh of relief. Because the enemy wanted you distracted. It wanted you unaware. It wanted you scrolling past this moment without receiving the revelation meant to shield you. But you didn't. You stopped. You listened. You aligned. Now watch what happens next. There is a spiritual intruder that has been circling your atmosphere. Not necessarily a person yet, but a force, a dark intention, a spirit of destruction trying to manifest through human behavior. Sometimes spiritual invasions appear physically. Sometimes they appear emotionally. Sometimes they appear through sudden conflict in the home. And sometimes the enemy tries to disguise itself through people who carry intentions that do not match their appearance. You may notice someone around you acting differently. Their energy may shift. Their tone may feel off. Their presence might make you tense without explanation. This is heaven alerting you. This is Archangel Michael pointing toward what you need to observe. He is protecting you, but he needs your awareness aligned with his guidance. There is something crucial you must understand. The threat that was forming around you was not stronger than your destiny. It was simply louder. But heaven's whisper is always more powerful than hell's noise. You were not guided to this message by accident. You were drawn here because God needs you covered before the window closes. He needs you spiritually alert before the enemy makes a move. And he needs you emotionally grounded so you can hear the next steps clearly. Sometimes danger does not show up as a bang. Sometimes it creeps quietly, testing your borders. But tonight, those borders are being sealed. Your home is being spiritually reinforced. Your atmosphere is being cleared. And every hidden intention, every unseen threat, every quiet plot is being exposed before it has the chance to step further. You are stepping into a moment of revelation right now. The kind where truth begins to rise like smoke. The kind where intuition becomes direction. The kind where Archangel Michael begins to point, reveal, uncover, and guide you through the next steps of protection. And this is important. You are never warned unless God is protecting you. He gives warnings to those he wants to guard. He gives messages to those he refuses to let fall. He gives revelations to those marked for a greater path. Your spirit is sensing this. You can feel the truth in your chest. You know something is shifting. You know this message is not ordinary. You know heaven is speaking directly into your life. And what comes next will bring clarity like lightning. Hold on. This is just beginning to unfold. Stay with me, you're about to understand who or what has been trying to enter your space. The next unveiling will make everything click. Type "I stand in divine protection" in the comments if this message is resonating deeply. Blessing code 993 is now released. Beloved heart, breathe slowly for a moment, because as you step into this next revelation, the atmosphere around you is shifting again. Archangel Michael stands closer than he did before. His wings are no longer simply spread in protection. They are positioned in readiness. The sword he carries is lit with a flame that grows brighter every second, and that brightness is not random. It is reacting to the truth that is about to unfold around your home, your space, and your spiritual boundaries. Everything in the unseen world is responding to this very moment. You may have felt for a long time that something has been trying to push its way into your life. Not always physically, but emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. There has been a pressure at the edges of your peace. A disturbance in the quiet moments. A tug in the atmosphere when you try to sleep. For many days, maybe even weeks, you have sensed something watching, something circling, something waiting for a moment of weakness or distraction. This is not your imagination. This is not anxiety. This is spiritual sensitivity awakening at the perfect time. God did not send this message to frighten you. He sent it to confirm what your spirit has already been discerning. There has been a spiritual intruder approaching the boundaries of your home. It does not always appear in the form of a person. Sometimes it is a spirit of conflict trying to push its way into your household. Sometimes it is a spirit of chaos trying to manifest through sudden arguments. Sometimes it is a jealous individual watching your life from a distance, seeking a moment to cause imbalance. And sometimes, in the most direct form, it is an actual physical presence trying to approach your home. Archangel Michael wants you to know this clearly. Your instincts have been accurate. Every moment when something told you to double-check a door, every time you hesitated before opening something, every time you felt the need to pause before letting someone in, those were not random moments. They were divine warnings. Heaven has been speaking softly. And tonight, heaven is speaking loudly. You have entered a prophetic hour. God does not warn without reason, and He does not interrupt your life unless the message carries power. Something or someone with dark intentions has been trying to find a way into the place you rest, the place you recharge, the place your spirit tries to find peace. But the fact that you are listening right now means the invasion has already begun to break. It is already losing its grip, and the angelic protection around you is tightening like a shield being sealed at every edge. There is a woman connected to this energy. Not necessarily inside your home, but someone whose spirit had been hovering around your life. Her intentions are not as pure as her words. She carries jealousy, resentment, or a subtle desire to see you shaken. For some of you, she watches silently from a distance. For others, she appears friendly, but carries a dark undercurrent. This woman may not physically enter your home, but her energy has tried to. Her presence had been knocking on your atmosphere, trying to bring confusion, fear, or spiritual vulnerability. Heaven is exposing her intentions now. God is saying, no more. Michael is saying, the line is drawn. Your spirit is saying, I knew something was off. This revelation is the turning point. Not a point of danger, a point of clarity. A point of victory. A point of understanding why you felt what you felt. You are being positioned for divine protection so precise that not even a shadow will be able to cross your threshold without heaven alerting you. And tonight, something extraordinary is happening. Your home is being sealed. A spiritual reinforcement is being placed at your windows, your doors, your entrance, your sleeping space, your atmosphere. This protection is not symbolic. It is real. But hear this carefully. You must remain spiritually aware for the next stretch of time. Your intuition will be sharp. Your dreams may reveal clues. You may sense unusual energy. Instead of fear, let awareness guide you. Heaven is not showing you these things to scare you. Heaven is preparing you. And in preparation, there is power you could not have walked in before. Archangel Michael is instructing your spirit right now. He is placing impressions inside you, nudges, warnings, red flags, sudden clarity about someone, sudden caution about your surroundings. Do not ignore these impressions. They are part of the protection. God gives discernment before He gives deliverance. He gives foresight before He gives breakthrough. And He gives warning before He gives victory. There is something important you must understand. You are being guarded because your destiny is about to advance. You are being warned because your future is about to open. You are being awakened because your calling is about to activate. This is why the darkness tried to invade. Not because you are weak, but because you are chosen. You have no idea how close you are to a major shift in your life. You are standing at the doorway of something powerful, something transformative, something heaven sent. And the enemy wanted to scare you away from the threshold. But instead, you woke up. Instead, you aligned. Instead, you stepped deeper into divine guidance. Hold steady for what comes next. The revelation unfolding will illuminate things you never noticed before. And trust me, the next part is where everything sharpens. Before you move, stay with me, because you will want to hear the next piece. Type "My home is covered in light" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 227 is now activated. Before we continue, make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs protection, comment to keep the message moving, type the message of heaven, and subscribe to receive every prophetic warning that God sends through this channel. Beloved, as this warning unfolds, remember that every time you help this message reach another soul, you are participating in God's shield of protection over homes and lives. Heaven moves through prepared vessels, and when you sow into a mission like this, you help release light into places where darkness tries to invade. God is saying, "What you release in faith, I multiply in protection." This is the moment where your generosity becomes a prophetic act, a spiritual seed that carries fire. I feel led to say this clearly. I am inviting you personally to stand with this mission, not as a viewer, but as a carrier of divine warning. Let your support through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description become the spark that brings someone else's breakthrough. Those who give into prophetic work receive prophetic covering. Step into this blessing with faith and obedience. Precious soul, the atmosphere around you is trembling with revelation right now. There is a holy stillness settling over this moment, a stillness that only comes when heaven is preparing to expose what has been hidden from your natural eyes. Archangel Michael is standing at full height, and the light around him is no longer soft. It is fierce, blazing, almost overwhelming in its intensity. That intensity means one thing: the next layer of truth is about to break open, and you were meant to receive it. For days, perhaps even months, you have carried a feeling that something was trying to approach your peace. You may not have been able to name it, define it, or point directly at it, but your spirit knew. Something kept tapping at the edges of your atmosphere. Something kept hovering at the border of your home. Something kept shifting the energy around you. And every time you tried to brush it off as overthinking, a quiet voice inside you whispered, "No. Pay attention." That voice was not fear. That voice was guidance. And tonight, heaven confirms that your discernment has been accurate all along. The spiritual intruder you have sensed is real. The disruption you have felt was not random. The energy shift in your home was not imagined. You have been standing in the middle of a spiritual standoff without even realizing it. The reason the warning came with urgency is because the enemy sensed an opportunity. It sensed a moment where your guard felt slightly lower, where your energy felt tired, where your emotions felt vulnerable. But what the enemy forgot is that God watches even when you are weary. The angels stand guard even when you do not see them. And heaven always steps in before darkness ever crosses the line. In the last part, we spoke about a woman, someone connected to the disturbance, not necessarily through physical proximity, but through spiritual intent. She is not the only piece in this unfolding mystery. There is more. And the next layer is deeper than a single individual. You have been battling not just a person, but an energy sent through intention. Someone, somewhere, knowingly or unknowingly, released envy, agitation, or spiritual instability toward you. This can happen through anger. This can happen through jealousy. This can happen through silent resentment. When people carry darkness in their hearts, it seeks expression, even if their physical actions seem harmless. This is why you have felt suddenly restless in your own home. This is why your intuition has been alert at night. This is why you have felt the need to close spiritual doors that you didn't even consciously open. Heaven had been preparing you for this moment. Not to fear it, to defeat it, to stand above it, to take back ownership of your peace. Archangel Michael is revealing that this energy tried to find an opening. It tried to use distraction. It tried to use emotional tiredness. It tried to use confusion. It tried to create a moment where you would leave a door unlocked, not physically, but spiritually. The enemy always seeks open doors. But tonight, every door is being sealed. Every crack is being reinforced. Every weak point is being strengthened. You must understand something crucial. Your home is a spiritual space, not just a physical one. The atmosphere inside your walls holds your dreams, your prayers, your emotions, your breakthroughs, your healing. This is why the enemy tried to target it. Because if it can disrupt your environment, it can disrupt your clarity. If it can shake your peace, it can weaken your focus. If it can disturb your rest, it can drain your strength. But heaven did not allow this invasion to manifest fully. You received this message in time. God is saying, I warned you because I have already protected you. Michael is saying, stand firm. The danger has been intercepted. Your spirit is saying, this message arrived exactly when I needed it. What you are feeling right now, this mixture of alertness and calm, is the result of angelic presence settling around you. There is a reason you have not been able to scroll away. Your spirit recognizes that something is unfolding right here that affects your reality, not just your thoughts. You are being positioned in divine awareness. But do not misunderstand this. The threat is losing power. The intruder, spiritual or physical, have been stopped in its tracks. The woman carrying the harmful vibration is being exposed in the spirit. The energy attempting to breach your home is being pushed back by angelic force. Nothing will enter without your awareness. Nothing will cross without divine interaction. And yet, there is one more truth you must hear. Sometimes the greatest danger is not the physical intruder, but the emotional one. Sometimes the invasion is not through a door, but through a conversation. Sometimes the enemy tries to enter your life through someone's tone, someone's shift in behavior, someone's subtle influence, someone's hidden intention. Pay close attention to the people whose energy shifts suddenly. Pay attention to the ones who become unusually curious about your personal life. Pay attention to the ones who ask questions that feel just a little too deep. Pay attention to the ones who show up at strange times, or with strange motives. Heaven is shining a light on these people, not to make you suspicious, but to make you discerning. Your home is sacred. Your peace is sacred. Your spirit is sacred. And what is sacred must be guarded. You are stepping into a phase where your sensitivity will sharpen. You will see through intentions faster. You will recognize danger before it approaches. You will identify spiritual shifts before they touch your environment. This is the gift God is awakening in you right now. And this gift is why the enemy is terrified. Hold steady, because the next revelation will bring another layer of clarity. What you are about to hear next will reveal why the timing was so crucial, why this warning had to reach you before the clock struck its final mark. Before you move, stay close. This message is not finished unfolding. My spirit is awake in the comments if this resonates. Lesson code 664 is now active. Chosen soul, breathe deeply, because as you step into this next revelation, the spiritual atmosphere around you is becoming clearer, sharper, and more defined. What was foggy before is beginning to take shape. What felt like intuition is becoming confirmation. What felt like a whisper is becoming a voice. And that voice is not the voice of fear, but the voice of divine protection speaking with authority over your life. Archangel Michael stands at a threshold right now, the threshold of your home, the threshold of your peace, the threshold of your destiny. The sword he carries glows brighter with every passing moment because the truth surrounding your situation is finally ready to be unveiled. You are no longer walking blindly. You are stepping into awareness. And awareness is one of heaven's greatest shields. There is a powerful shift occurring. God is not only showing you the intruder, He is showing you the intention behind it. He is showing you what has been circling your space. He is showing you why the energy in your home hath been unsettled. Your spirit hath been picking up on a vibration that did not belong to you. It was something external attempting to find a place to land within your atmosphere. For some, it manifested as sun and heaviness at night. For others, as uneasiness near doors or windows. For others, as strange dreams. And for a few, as a sense that someone, seen or unseen, was watching, observing, or waiting. This is why heaven needed you here at this exact moment. The message is not just information. It is adjustment. It is alignment. It is intervention. You have been standing at the edge of a silent spiritual confrontation. The enemy wanted to gain access before you realized what was happening. But God's mercy reached you in time, and now the enemy is exposed, cornered, and unable to cross the threshold. What you must understand is this: danger rarely begins with obvious signs. It begins with small shifts. A strange noise. A sudden intuition. A random thought to check something. A feeling of being watched. A sense of being observed spiritually or physically. These are not random sensations, they are alarms. They are alerts. They are spiritual signals telling you that something is drawing near. And you responded. You listened. You opened this message. And because you did, the entire trajectory of this attack has shifted. Michael is showing something very important right now. The danger forming around your home wasn't only physical, it carried spiritual intention. There are forces that operate through the emotional instability of people around you. Some individuals, when filled with jealousy, envy, bitterness, or hidden resentment, unknowingly open themselves to negative influence. Their thoughts become doorways. Their words become invitations. Their actions become weapons. Someone's energy has been trying to enter your space, even if they never physically stepped foot into your home. Someone's unresolved darkness hath been sending a vibration toward you. This is why you have been feeling the way you have been feeling. You are not losing your mind. You are spiritually sensitive. God is highlighting this because He wants you to recognize the pattern. Some people don't break into homes. They break into atmospheres. They break into peace. They break into emotional stability. And this is why Archangel Michael has been repositioning himself around your home, because the attempt was not only external, but energetic. You might suddenly remember someone whose energy recently felt off. Someone whose presence made you uneasy. Someone whose tone felt sharper than usual. Someone who looked at you differently. You might recall small interactions that didn't sit right with you. A strange question. A sudden change in behavior. A moment of tension that made no sense. These are the clues heaven is surfacing. Not for suspicion, but for discernment. You are being trained to see beyond words, beyond expressions, beyond behavior, and into intention. This is the mark of someone spiritually chosen, spiritually awakened, spiritually appointed. Your home is being spiritually secured right now. The angels are walking through the rooms. They are sealing the corners. They are standing by the entrances. They are clearing the vibrations. You may not see it with your earthly eyes, but your spirit feels it. You can literally sense the shift even as you read this. Your home does not belong to the enemy. Your peace does not belong to the intruder. Your spirit does not belong to fear. God is reclaiming your atmosphere. And here is what heaven wants you to understand with absolute clarity. You were meant to hear this now, because the next hours are sacred. There is a reset happening, a purification, a divine reordering, a sealing of every opening the enemy attempted to exploit. You will notice that after this message, certain noises will stop. Certain heaviness will live. Certain patterns will break. Certain people will reveal their true intention. Do not be surprised when clarity comes. Clarity is a sign that the angels have begun their work. It is a sign that the intruder, spiritual or physical, has been pushed back. It is a sign that God has intercepted the plan before it ever had a chance to grow. But this message is not finished. The next revelation will bring focus, direct instruction, and understanding about what is coming next. Do not drift away, not now. The moment ahead carries weight, and your spirit will thank you for staying present. Hold on, this next piece is where the truth becomes undeniable. Type "My home belongs to God" in the comments if you feel this truth awakening in you. Blessing code 1188 is now released. Beloved soul, as we step deeper into this revelation, I want you to take a slow breath and let your spirit settle into what is happening. The atmosphere is shifting again, but this time the shift carries clarity rather than confusion. Archangel Michael is no longer simply standing guard. He is observing, analyzing, revealing. The sword he carries is now angled toward the ground, not in surrender, but in readiness. This posture means heaven is preparing to speak in a way that brings understanding, not just warning. Guidance, not just alertness. And you are ready to receive it. Something has been drawing near your home, your peace, and your emotional space for far longer than you realized. It didn't begin yesterday. It didn't begin a week ago. This energy has been circling quietly, testing your atmosphere, watching for the weakest moment. But tonight, the truth is surfacing like dawn breaking through a long, dark night. God is showing you the exact nature of this disturbance so you can stand with confidence in the protection He has already placed over you. Your senses have been heightened for a reason. You have noticed things you normally overlook. Small changes in energy, subtle movements in the atmosphere, a shift in the tone or behavior of certain individuals. Sometimes it came as a chill at an unusual hour. Sometimes it came as restlessness before bed. Sometimes it came as a shadow that felt out of place or a presence that felt unfamiliar. You may have brushed these moments away, but your spirit didn't. Your spirit was working quietly, receiving signals, absorbing warnings, and preparing the ground for the message you are hearing now. God allowed your spirit to stay sensitive because He knew this moment would require awareness, not fear. He knew your discernment would be needed. He knew your intuition would be part of the protection. And now, every moment of uneasiness is being explained. Every spiritual nudge is being connected. Every strange feeling is being placed in divine context. There is something important you must understand. Attacks rarely come from strangers. They often rise from familiar places. People you know. People you once trusted. People who once weigh you well. People who smile with their face while hiding questions in their heart. The energy that tried to invade your home was connected to someone who has watched you more than you realized. Someone who has observed your peace, your stability, your growth, and felt their own insecurities rise. Someone who carries a shadow of jealousy, not the loud kind, but the silent, festering kind that becomes a doorway for darker spiritual influence. This is why your home felt heavy at times. This is why your spirit felt unsettled in certain moments. This is why your dreams carried warnings. This is why you felt the urge to double-check locks, windows, and corners. Something connected to this individual, whether their thoughts, their intentions, or their emotional instability, sent vibrations toward your space. Not all home invasions begin with physical force. Many begin with spiritual intrusion. A person's negative intentions can float toward your environment like smoke creeping under a door. It may not break anything physically, but it disrupts your energy, your rest, your clarity. And God is revealing that someone's energy has tried to enter where their presence was not permitted. But listen closely, it failed. It could not enter fully. It could only circle, not invade. It could only linger, not inhabit. Because your home is under divine claim. Your atmosphere is under angelic authority. Your spirit is anchored in awareness. Archangel Michael has been reinforcing your borders. Every time you felt the urge to pray, that was him. Every time you felt the need to listen to worship music, that was him. Every time you felt the need to clean, organize, shift, or open windows, that was him guiding you to reset your atmosphere. Angels operate subtly before they operate visibly. They rearrange energy before they reveal the enemy. Now, heaven is revealing why the timing was so urgent. The closer the enemy came, the louder your spirit became. The more pressure the intruder applied, the stronger your intuition responded. The more the energy tried to enter, the faster God pushed this message into your hands. You are not here by accident. You didn't click this by coincidence. Your spirit called this message forth. And now, the truth is unfolding. The threat that circled your home was never stronger than your protection. It only appeared loud because it was desperate. Desperate forces make the most noise, but they never win against divine authority. God is showing you the identity of the energy, not to make you fearful, but to make you wise. Discernment is a form of armor. Awareness is a weapon. When you can see the enemy clearly, the enemy loses its power. Darkness can only intimidate when it goes unseen. But once exposed, it retreats. You will soon notice something remarkable. Your home will feel lighter. Your rest will deepen. Your clarity will sharpen. Your dreams will become messages rather than warnings. These are signs that Archangel Michael has completed the first wave of protection. The next wave is understanding. And through this understanding, you will step into authority. Not the authority of fear, but the authority of awareness. You will begin to close spiritual doors before they even form. You will recognize harmful energy before it approaches. You will sense intentions before words are spoken. This is why the enemy hath been so persistent. Because you are becoming spiritually unbreakable. Because your home is becoming spiritually fortified. Because your discernment is rising like a shield of fire. You are walking into a new level of protection, one you've never tapped into before. And the next revelation will explain the deeper reason this attack came at this moment in your life. Stay close. The unraveling is just beginning. The truth is about to cut deeper, and what comes next will connect everything. Hold steady, chosen soul. What you're about to hear will make your spirit stand taller. Type "I claim divine authority" in the comments if this part touched your spirit. Lesson code 550 is now active. Beloved spirit, pause for a moment and feel what is happening inside you right now. There is a stirring, a rising, an awakening that wasn't present in the earlier parts of this journey. You are not just receiving information anymore. Your spirit is absorbing truth, and truth is shifting your atmosphere from the inside out. Archangel Michael is leaning closer now, not out of urgency, but out of guidance. His presence is no longer intense in the way that warns. It is intense in the way that teaches. He is not simply protecting you anymore. He is preparing you for something greater than the threat that circled your home. What you must understand is that spiritual attacks are never random. Darkness does not move without motive. Shadows do not circle without purpose. The enemy does not watch a home unless something valuable is inside it. And you, chosen soul, carry a spiritual value that threatens every dark force assigned against you. Your destiny has a glow. Your calling radiates. Your future carries weight. And the enemy saw the light inside your home before you even realized how brightly it had started to shine. This is why the disturbance intensified recently. You are entering a new spiritual chapter. You are stepping into a shift that carries elevation. You are moving spiritually in a way that makes darkness nervous. You have been praying, maybe inconsistently, maybe quietly, maybe inwardly, but you have been praying. You have been seeking answers. You have been longing for alignment. You have been asking for clarity. And heaven heard you. Before your voice even became words, your spirit's cry reached God. When a chosen soul prepares to rise, the enemy reacts first. That reaction is what you have been sensing around your home. Agitation, restlessness, heaviness, strange sensations, emotional fluctuations. These weren't punishments. They were symptoms of spiritual transition. The enemy tried to enter because it sensed what you were about to step into. But now we must go deeper. There is something specific God wants you to understand about the timing of all this. This wasn't a random evening. This wasn't a random hour. This wasn't a random moment where you stumbled upon this message. You opened this at the exact spiritual intersection where your discernment had risen high enough to receive it and your vulnerability had risen just enough to need it. Heaven does not speak at the wrong time. Heaven moves with precision. Michael is revealing that the intruder, whether physical, spiritual, or energetic, was not sent because of who you are today, but because of who you are becoming. The brightness of your next season exposed you. The light of your future made you visible in the spirit realm. You have been stepping into your calling without even realizing it. Your home became a target because your spirit became a beacon. But God does not allow a threat to form unless protection is already activated. The moment the enemy approached your boundary, Michael was dispatched. The moment the vibration tried to enter your home, a shield began to form. The moment the heaviness tried to settle inside your space, heaven disrupted it. This is why you never fully broke. This is why you never completely fell apart. This is why the enemy circled but never crossed the threshold. This is why the disturbance tried to unsettle you but failed to destroy you. You are protected, not because danger is absent, but because calling is present. Now listen carefully, because this next truth is crucial. Some of the people connected to your life have been feeling the shift as well. Not everyone responds well to your spiritual growth. Not everyone celebrates your elevation. Some feel threatened. Some feel insecure. Some feel exposed by your transformation. This is why certain people suddenly became distant. This is why certain interactions felt strangely off. This is why some individuals grew colder, quieter, or more unpredictable. When a chosen soul rises, the environment rearranges itself. People reveal who they truly are. Shiv. And it is tend. The ones who are assigned to your journey become clearer. The ones who are not begin to fall away. And the ones whose hearts are secretly against you become spiritually visible. You are in that exact season. And the intruder, this shadow, this presence, this unwelcome energy, was drawn to the shifting relationships, not just your home. Someone's internal conflict opened a spiritual doorway, and the doorway allowed negative influence to cling to your atmosphere. But the moment you opened this message, that doorway began to close. Michael is severing ties that allowed this energy to circulate. He is disconnecting the emotional cords that attached themselves to you. He is cutting the spiritual cables that someone unintentionally or intentionally sent in your direction. Your home is being reset from the inside out. Your spirit is being reset from the inside out. Your boundaries are being reset from the inside out. What you will begin to notice in the coming hours is a sense of clarity you haven't felt in a long time. The fog will begin to lift. The heaviness will begin to release. The confusion will begin to dissolve. And you will realize that this attack was not meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you. God allowed the disturbance because it exposed what needed attention. It awakened what had been sleeping. It sharpened what had been dull. It activated your discernment, your intuition, your sensitivity, and your spiritual sight. You are rising in awareness. You are rising in protection. You are rising in purpose. And the enemy cannot touch what God is covering. Stay with me, beloved. Because in the next revelation, what has been circling your home will be fully identified. Loving hidden will remain hidden. You will see the truth clearly, and clarity will give you power. Hold steady. You are standing on holy ground right now. Type "I walk in holy clarity" in the comments if this part awakens something inside you. Blessing code 770 is now active. Beloved soul, as we step into this next unveiling, the atmosphere around you is vibrating with a truth that has been waiting to surface. The tension you have felt, the stirring in your chest, the strange heaviness that has lingered at certain hours of the night, none of it has been meaningless. Heaven has been building you toward this moment, the moment where what was circling your home and your spirit finally comes into full view. Archangel Michael is no longer standing at a distance. His presence is pressed against the spiritual boundary of your home, and the light he carries is exposing everything that once hid in the shadows. This is the moment where the unseen intruder becomes visible. This is where the truth no longer whispers, it declares. You have been sensing something approaching you for a while now. A presence, a vibration, an energy that felt unfamiliar but persistent. It has brushed against your peace like a cold current moving through warm air. It has hovered at the edges of your awareness. It has lingered near your emotional space without fully stepping inside. And tonight, heaven is revealing the identity of this presence, because you cannot defeat what you cannot define. There are two layers to what has been trying to approach you, one spiritual and one human. The spiritual layer hath been the force of agitation, the heaviness, the sudden anxiety, the restless nights, the pressure at the edges of your home. But the human layer, the person through whom this disturbance gained access, is what you must understand now. Someone you know has been carrying a storm inside them, a storm made of envy, confusion, insecurity, and emotional imbalance. This person did not need to speak their negativity aloud for it to reach you. Their thoughts were enough. Their intentions were enough. Their emotional chaos was enough. This is someone who has watched your life more closely than you realized. Someone who notices your stability even when you think no one is observing. Someone who carries curiosity about your blessings, but frustration about their own. someone who feels threatened by the peace you have been rebuilding. Heaven is showing that this person is not evil, but vulnerable to darker energies that attach to unresolved emotions. Jealousy becomes a doorway. Bitterness becomes an invitation. Resentment becomes a shadow. And through that doorway, spiritual disturbance tries to slip into your environment. That is exactly what has been circling your home. Not necessarily the person themselves, but the energy their emotions allowed. This is why you felt watched at strange moments. This is why your intuition has been louder than usual. This is why your atmosphere felt heavier at certain times. This is why your dreams have been carrying warnings. You were picking up the vibration before the identity became clear. You were sensing the energy before the source was fully revealed. But now, the revelation has arrived. And Michael is showing it plainly. This person may not have physically approached your home, but their energy did. Your thoughts traveled farther than they intended. Their emotions carried farther than they understood. Some people do not realize that spiritual influence moves through intention, not location. They do not need to stand in your doorway for their spirit to knock. They do not need to speak words aloud for their vibration to echo through your environment. Their internal conflicts become external disturbances when directed toward someone chosen by God. And beloved, you are chosen. This is why the disturbance intensified. This is why the timing felt urgent. This is why the message reached you before the energy fully formed. God does not allow the enemy to enter a home he has claimed, but he will allow you to sense the approach so that your awareness becomes your shield. Now, here is what heaven needs you to understand. You are not meant to fear this person. You are not meant to be suspicious or paranoid. You are not meant to cut people off impulsively. You are meant to recognize spiritual dynamics for what they truly are. The danger was not the person. It was the spirit riding on their unresolved emotions. And Michael has already severed its access. The moment you began receiving this message, the spiritual cords connected to your atmosphere were sliced clean. That lingering heaviness you felt, it is dissolving. That pressure near your windows or doors, it is being lifted. That unsettling feeling at night, it is losing its grip. The angels have stepped fully into your space, and the intruder, spiritual or emotional, has been pushed back into the shadows where it came from. But the revelation is not over. There is something important about the timing. Something that explains why this intrusion happened now, not months ago. You are approaching a breakthrough. A shift. A moment of destiny that requires clarity. This disturbance came as a final attempt to distract you, weaken you, or confuse you before the blessing unfolded. The enemy always strikes hardest right before the elevation. And you, beloved, are standing at the threshold of something God has been preparing behind the scenes. This is why your spirit has been so alert. This is why heaven has been so loud. This is why Michael hath been so close. Your next step requires awareness, and this revelation is clearing the path before you take it. Everything trying to distract you is being stripped away. Everything trying to confuse you is being silenced. Everything trying to unsettle you is being uprooted. You are stepping into a level of spiritual clarity that will make the enemy flee at the sound of your presence alone. You are being lifted above the confusion. You are being positioned above the disturbance. You are being trained to see what others overlook. And what comes next will unlock the deeper purpose behind this entire warning. Keep moving with me. The truth is still unfolding, and you are stepping into the heart of it. Type "My home is a fortress of light" in the comments if this part resonated with your spirit. Blessing code 1313 has been released. Before we continue, make sure you like this message, share it with someone who needs protection, comment to strengthen this prophetic flow, hype this revelation so it reaches others, and subscribe to remain under these divine messages. Beloved, as God exposes every shadow and seals every doorway around your home, remember that your support helps this divine mission extend protection to countless others who desperately need a word from heaven. When you sow into a message like this, you are helping God light another home, another family, another life. This is not about helping a channel. It is about helping souls awaken before danger reaches their doorstep. The Lord is saying, what you release in faith, I will release back into your household as peace. I am inviting you personally. Stand with this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and let your giving become a prophetic fire that shields another home. Those who support the work of warning and revelation step into an uncommon covering. Step boldly, because heaven responds to obedient hearts. Beloved soul, as you step deeper into this revelation, feel how the weight of this moment has shifted. Earlier, there was tension, a sense of urgency, a heaviness pressing against your spirit. But now, that heaviness is loosening. It is thinning. It is unraveling. This is the moment when the storm that once circled your home begins to dissipate. Not because the threat never existed, but because heaven has taken authority over it. Archangel Michael now stands not at the boundary of your home, but inside it, his presence filling the atmosphere with a clarity that leaves no room for shadows to hide. What you once sensed circling you, watching you, studying your movements, is now losing its grip. The spiritual intruder has been pushed back so forcefully that the echo of its approach is the only thing that remains. But tonight, God does not want to simply protect you. He wants to teach you. He wants you to understand the deeper meaning behind why this disturbance ever existed in the first place. Because you must know the purpose behind the warfare, or you will miss the victory that has already begun to unfold. You must understand this crucial truth. Attacks come when transitions begin. The enemy does not waste resources on someone who is stagnant. It strikes when movement begins. It strikes when God shifts you into a new dimension of clarity. It strikes when your gifts begin to activate. It strikes when your spirit wakes up. It strikes when your home becomes a place of prayer instead of pain. It strikes when old patterns start breaking. And this, beloved, is why you became a target. You are not in danger. You are in transformation. The enemy was not circling your home because of what you were doing wrong. It circled because of what you were about to do right. Archangel Michael reveals something powerful. Your spirit has been rising without your conscious awareness. You may have felt tired. You may have felt confused. You may have questioned yourself. But spiritually, you were climbing. Your discernment sharpened. Your intuition increased. Your awareness deepened. You became more spiritually awake than you have been in months, maybe years. That awakening disturbed the enemy. And so it reacted. Not with clarity, but with chaos. Not with strategy, but with desperation. You see, the intruder didn't approach because you were weak. He approached because you were growing strong. It sensed an awakening, a spiritual ignition, a rising flame inside you that it could not extinguish, only attempt to distract. Now listen carefully, because this part matters deeply. Before physical attacks occur, spiritual ones form. Before emotional upheavals erupt, energetic turbulence begins. Before someone tries to disrupt your peace, their intentions shift. And you felt all these changes before the danger manifested outwardly. That is the sign of a chosen one. That is the mark of a spiritually gifted soul. That is the evidence that heaven has positioned you with sensitivity beyond the natural. But there is something even deeper unfolding here. There is a reason the warning mentioned your home specifically. Homes carry spiritual imprints. Homes carry emotional patterns. Homes carry energy left behind by the people who live or interact within them. Your home is not just where you sleep. It is where your spirit rests. And the enemy attempted to disturb that rest because it saw what God was placing inside your home: peace, clarity, protection, awakening, and renewed strength. The enemy always tries to attack the foundation before the building rises. But what it did not expect was your sensitivity. You felt the shift. You sensed the approach. You knew something was off. And the moment you opened this message, you aligned yourself with heaven's timing, not the enemy's plan. Now look deeper into this. There is someone in your life whose energy has been drifting toward you with imbalance. This person does not necessarily intend harm, but their instability created a spiritual breach. Their fear became an echo. Their insecurity became an opening. Their emotional chaos created a ripple that reached your atmosphere. Not all harm comes from malice, some comes from ignorance, weakness, or confusion. You may have been feeling the weight of this person's energy without recognizing its source. The heaviness, the unexplained tension, the emotional fog, the sudden restlessness at night. All of this was tied to their vibration unintentionally affecting you. But here is what you must understand. Even accidental doorways must be closed. Even unintentional influence must be removed. Even unspoken emotions must be cut off. This is what Michael has been doing, severing the energetic cords, closing the spiritual openings, cleansing the atmosphere around you. The threat hath been identified, intercepted, and dissolved. But that is not the end. God wants you to see something deeper. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a gift. Your intuition is not imagination. It is a spiritual instrument. Your discernment is not overthinking. It is protection. Your awareness is not anxiety. It is activation. You are not just being protected. You are being trained. From this moment forward, your spirit will begin to notice things differently. You will sense energy shifts faster. You will recognize danger sooner. You will spot hidden intentions more clearly. You will identify spiritual movement instantly. Your home will respond to you differently. The atmosphere will feel lighter, cleaner, clearer. What almost invaded you will now fear approaching you. What circled you will shrink back. What attempted to unsettle you will be silenced. What whispered at your doorstep will flee at the presence of Michael. You are stepping into spiritual authority, and authority shifts everything. Stay close, beloved. The next revelation will explain why the timing, the warning, and the urgency were all woven together with divine precision. The message is not done. The truth is still unfolding, and you are walking straight into the heart of it. Type "My spirit sees clearly" now in the comments if this part awakens something inside you. Lesson code 1414 is now active. Beloved soul, as we enter this next part of the revelation, I want you to pause for a moment and acknowledge something sacred. The heaviness that once clung to your spirit is loosening, the fog is lifting, and the shadows that once circled your home are growing faint. This is not your imagination. This is not coincidence. This is the result of divine intervention unfolding around you in real time. Archangel Michael is now standing fully inside your atmosphere, not as a visitor, but as a guardian who has claimed your space as protected territory. His wings stretch outward, his presence fills every corner, and the spiritual intrusion that once hovered near you is no longer able to breathe in your direction. But even with the protection established, Heaven is not finished speaking. There is still something God wants you to understand. Something deeper, something layered, something that explains everything you have been feeling for weeks, perhaps even months. You must understand the why behind this entire experience. Because once you understand the why, the enemy loses every last ounce of influence it ever attempted to gain over your life. There is a pattern to spiritual attacks, and it is a pattern few people ever learn to see. Before breakthroughs come storms. Before clarity comes confusion. Before elevation comes tension. Before alignment comes disruption. What you have been experiencing recently has not been a sequence of random emotional fluctuations. It has been the shaking before the shifting. And you, beloved soul, are very close to a massive spiritual transition. This is why the atmosphere around your home became unsettled. This is why you felt watch. This is why your intuition was louder than usual. This is why you kept glancing at your doors or windows without knowing why. This is why your dreams carried messages, warnings, and symbols. Your spirit sensed the transition before your mind understood it. And when a chosen soul begins to step into their next dimension, darkness reacts. Not because it is powerful, but because it is afraid. Archangel Michael reveals something very important now. This attack was not only meant to unsettle your home, it was meant to unsettle your identity. The enemy wanted you confused. It wanted you tired. It wanted you doubting yourself. It wanted you questioning your own instincts. Because if it could shake your sense of who you are, it could weaken your awareness. But you resisted. Even without realizing it, you resisted. Your sensitivity acted like a shield. Your intuition acted like a warning system. Your spirit held on to the truth even when your emotions wavered. This is why God intervened. This is why the angels move. This is why the warning arrived precisely when it did. Heaven didn't come late. Heaven came right on time. Now listen, because this revelation is crucial to your understanding. The intruder, whether spiritual or connected to someone in your life, did not come to take something from you. It came to test the walls of your spirit. Darkness cannot break what it does not understand. It tests first. It waits. It watches. It looks for weak points. And when it finds none, it retreats. Your lack of weakness is what caused the disturbance to circle instead of invade. Your discernment is what kept the energy outside your home. Your awareness is what prevented a deeper spiritual breach. Sometimes, the enemy does not need to enter your home to test you. He only needs to approach close enough to see if you notice. And you did. You noticed. You felt it. You sensed everything long before it could manifest. That is the sign of someone spiritually chosen. That is the mark of someone protected. But there is a deeper layer still. This attack was not meant to scare you. It was meant to expose what is rising inside you. Your spiritual gifts are awakening. Your intuition is strengthening. Your discernment is sharpening. Your sensitivity is aligning with heavenly frequencies. Your home is becoming a place of spiritual authority, not vulnerability. Michael is revealing that you are entering a season where your spiritual perception will become one of your strongest weapons. You will sense danger before it forms. You will feel shifts long before others notice them. You will recognize false intentions instantly. You will understand spiritual patterns without needing explanations. This is why the attack came. Not to break you, but to activate you. Not to weaken you, but to awaken you. Not to frighten you, but to show you who you are becoming. You are stepping into a dimension where you will no longer be surprised by spiritual shifts. You will anticipate them. You will no longer be confused by energy changes. You will interpret them. You will no longer feel intimidated by threats. You will stand above them. And this, beloved soul, is the part the enemy feared the most. Once you awaken to your spiritual potential, darkness loses every strategy it ever planned against you. You are rising. You are becoming. You are transforming into the version of yourself that God always intended you to be. Your home is safer than it has ever been. Your spirit is clearer than it has been in months. Your awareness is sharper than it ever was before. But we are not done yet. There is still more to reveal. The final layers of this revelation will explain the deeper meaning behind the timing, the warning, and the message itself. Heaven is not finished. The truth is still unfolding, and the most important part is approaching. Hold steady. Do not look away. What comes next will bring everything together. Type "I walk in supernatural discernment" in the comments if this part resonated with your spirit. Blessing code 2200 is now activated. Beloved soul, as you enter this next and deeply sacred part of the revelation, take a moment to acknowledge how your spirit feels right now. Something inside you has shifted. The tension that once wrapped itself around your chest has loosened. The fear that tried to whisper into your mind has grown silent. The heaviness that lingered at the edges of your home has lifted. What you are feeling now is clarity, pure, divine clarity, beginning to rise inside you like morning light breaking through a long night. Archangel Michael stands beside you in this moment, not as a distant guardian, but as a witness to your awakening. And heaven is ready to show you what all of this has truly been leading to. Everything you have felt in recent days, the strange quiet, the sudden restlessness, the sense of being watched, the shift in the atmosphere of your home, has not been random. It has been preparation. It has been alignment. It has been heaven positioning you to recognize what you once overlooked, to see what was once hidden, and to understand what once confused you. You are no longer the soul who walked into these warnings uncertain. You are becoming the soul who walks out of them empowered. Now listen carefully, because this next truth is foundational. The enemy did not try to invade your home because of what is inside your home. The enemy tried to invade because of what is inside you. Something powerful has been waking up inside your spirit. Something ancient, something sacred, something that has been dormant for too long. You have been stepping into a new season of sensitivity, intuition, and spiritual maturity. You have been stepping into a deeper connection with God, even in moments when you felt distant. You have been aligning with your purpose even when you thought you were slipping. Your spirit has been reaching for heaven at moments when you didn't understand why. And heaven responded. This is why the disturbance came. It was a reaction, not an attack. The enemy reacted to what it sensed rising inside you. And what was rising was your clarity, your discernment, your authority, your destiny. You began walking in a strength you did not even realize was awakening. And the darkness panicked. But the panic of the enemy is always the sign of your elevation. Always. This brings us to the core of the revelation. Something in your future required this level of sensitivity. Something in your destiny required this level of awareness. Something in your next season required you to learn to recognize spiritual movement instantly. You are being prepared for something. Something big. A divine assignment. A spiritual responsibility. A calling that carries weight. This is why heaven had been training your senses through real experience, not theory. You have lived this lesson. You have felt the shifts. You have recognized the signals. You have learned the pattern. When the atmosphere changes, your spirit responds. You now understand that intuition is not a feeling. It is a spiritual instrument. And there is more. The person whose energy helped to open this disturbance is not meant to be seen as an enemy. They are a symptom, not the source. They allowed fear, jealousy, or emotional chaos to become an entrance for spiritual interference. Heaven exposed their connection not to break your trust, but to illuminate your discernment. You are being taught to see intentions, not just actions. You are being taught to sense energy, not just words. You are being taught to protect your spirit without hardening your heart. Archangel Michael has already pushed back the intruder. But now he is doing something even more powerful. He is teaching you to maintain what heaven has reclaimed. Here is the truth you must hold on to. You are not the person you were before this warning. You are not the same soul who sensed something but doubted yourself. You are not the same heart that second-guessed intuition. You are not the same spirit that ignored subtle signs. You have awakened, and that awakening is permanent. Your home is being restored. Your atmosphere is being cleansed. Your peace is returning. Your spirit is sharpening. Your authority is rising. And this is important. The enemy has now realized that it cannot enter your home. It cannot shake your spirit. It cannot confuse your mind. And it cannot manipulate your emotions. Because you are no longer spiritually asleep. You are standing tall in a new kind of awareness, one heaven has been preparing you for. This entire experience, the warning, the tension, the revelation, had been part of a divine curriculum, a spiritual training, a preparation for what is coming next. And what is coming next requires a soul who can hear God clearly, a soul who can sense shifts immediately, a soul who can recognize when something is off, a soul who can stand firm even when the atmosphere trembles. That soul is you. Beloved, you are being shaped into someone who will walk with heaven's authority, someone who will see through masks, someone who will not be shaken by shadows or intimidated by disturbances. You are becoming spiritually unbreakable. But we are not finished yet. The next part will reveal the final piece of this mystery, the blessing hidden in the warning, the destiny hidden in the disturbance, and the reason God rushed this message into your hands before the hour marked its final moment. Stay close. The final unveiling is approaching, and it will tie everything together in a way that will leave your spirit trembling with understanding. Type "I am fully awakened" in the comments if this part spoke to your spirit. Blessing code 2024 is now active. Beloved soul, you have walked through warning, revelation, awakening, and clarity. Now you have arrived at the final threshold, the moment where everything you have sensed, everything heaven has shown you, and everything Archangel Michael has revealed comes together like the final piece of a divine puzzle. Take a slow breath and let your heart settle, because this last unveiling carries not only truth, but destiny. What you are about to understand is the purpose behind every sensation, every moment of uneasiness, every spiritual signal that echoed through your home. From the beginning of this journey, you were drawn here not by coincidence, not by curiosity, and not by fear. You were drawn here by divine orchestration. God hath been preparing you for a shift in your spiritual identity. He has been awakening something inside of you that was buried under months, or even years, of exhaustion, distraction, or emotional weight. You may not have realized it, but throughout this process, your spirit has been rising. It has been stretching. It hath been stepping into alignment. You have been growing into the version of yourself heaven always intended you to be. And now, in this final revelation, God wants you to see the full picture. The disturbance that circled your home, the energy that brushed against your peace, the heaviness that followed you into certain nights, the sudden intuition that made you pause, was not just about danger. It was about direction. It was about training your sensitivity. It was about activating your discernment. It was about sharpening your spiritual instincts so that nothing, absolutely nothing, could slip past your awareness again. Archangel Michael stands before you now with a clarity that fills the room around you. He is showing that the enemy did not approach because you were weak. It approached because you were becoming spiritually dangerous. Your spirit is a beacon. Your energy has changed. Your prayers have weight. Your discernment has authority. Your presence has power. And the enemy panicked, not because it had access to your home, but because it saw the fire rising inside you. You must understand this with full certainty. You were never in danger. You were being awakened. Every warning was a lesson. Every disturbance was a revelation. Every uneasy moment was a signal of spiritual activation. Heaven allowed you to sense the enemy so you could learn to sense the shift. You were being taught how to identify spiritual movement before it manifests naturally. You were being trained to hear God in moments where the atmosphere speaks louder than human voices. You were being positioned to walk into your next season with eyes that see, ears that hear, and a spirit that recognizes every shift, every vibration, every intention. This is why the message needed to reach you before the hour was complete. This is why the title carried urgency. This is why the timing felt precise. You were entering a spiritual window, a moment where God could pour revelation into you unrestricted, unhindered, and uninterrupted. That window was meant to awaken excellence, not fear. Now listen, because this is the heart of the entire prophecy. You are not simply being protected. You are being promoted. Your home is not just being shielded. It is being sanctified. Your spirit is not just awakening. It is ascending. You have crossed into a new spiritual dimension without even realizing it. Something has unlocked inside of you. Something ancient, sacred, and powerful. You may feel it already. A heightened awareness. A steady calm. A deeper peace. A sudden clarity. A quiet confidence that was not there before. This is the sign of someone who has passed the test. Someone who has endured the shaking and come out with sharpened senses. Someone who has walked through the warning and emerged with wisdom. Someone who has moved through the disturbance and discovered destiny. The enemy approached your home to test its strength, but found it guarded by heaven. It circled your atmosphere to test your awareness, but found your spirit awake. It watched your movements to test your vulnerabilities, but found your discernment rising. You have become spiritually unapproachable. Your home has become spiritually untouchable. Your destiny has become spiritually inevitable. And now, in this moment of conclusion, heaven speaks a blessing over you. Your home is sealed. Your spirit is covered. Your path is guarded. Your discernment is activated. Your purpose is unlocked. From this point forward, the disturbances you once feared will become signals you recognize instantly. The patterns you once overlooked will stand out clearly. The intentions of others will reveal themselves effortlessly. You will no longer be blindsided by spiritual movement. You will sense it long before it approaches. That is the mark of divine maturity. That is the gift heaven has awakened in you. And beloved, do not forget this. Every attack is a prophecy of your elevation. Every warning is a sign of your assignment. Every moment of spiritual tension is evidence that your destiny carries weight. You are rising. You are protected. You are chosen. And your home, your peace, and your future belong fully to God. Stay anchored, stay aware, and stay aligned, because what comes next in your life will require everything you have just learned. Type "I rise in the light of God" in the comments if this final revelation speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 7777 is now activated. Before you leave this sacred moment, like this message, share it so someone else can be protected. Comment to keep this prophetic flow alive. Hype this revelation so it reaches those who need divine covering. And subscribe to remain under heaven's messages. Beloved, now that this final revelation has sealed your home and awakened your spirit, I want you to understand something holy. When you support this mission, you are helping heaven reach souls before danger reaches them. This is not about funding a channel. It is about empowering God's word to travel into homes that are still asleep, still vulnerable, still unaware of the spiritual storms circling them. The Lord is saying, "What you sow into my warning, I will multiply back into your protection." I feel prompted to speak this plainly to your heart. I am personally inviting you to stand with this calling by using Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. Your giving becomes a prophetic act, an offering that releases light into places where darkness is still knocking. Those who support God's message of protection walk under a mantle of supernatural safety. Step into that blessing boldly, for this is a divine moment.